Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are now at 344 subscribers. Can we get to 500 subscribers by election day? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that we can get there. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website that I have, which I update daily. That is also linked down in the description. But in today's video, I will finally be doing my updated house predictions map. We will have the fundraising numbers coming out hopefully soon, so as soon as they do come out, I will do an updated election prediction based off of those, because if you look at the rate of people who have more fundraising winning elections, it's around 95%. So I think that is very important to note, and when they do come out, I will do that. But I am doing my prediction for the second half of the September month. Today is now September 22nd, and I will be doing my updated predictions. I'll just be going down through all of these states, seeing how I think they're going to go. Do Republicans have a path to the House? Do Democrats have a path to actually expand their majority in the House? So we'll see how it goes, and just going through down each of the states here. We first obviously start with the state of Alabama. Nothing contested there. Alaska, you have Don Young here, who I guess you kind of have a negative incumbency advantage when you've been in the House for that long. I think he probably wins by around a likely margin, but that could be a little bit closer, even though it is Alaska. Arizona's quite an interesting state. I probably agree with all of these ratings with it for this. You look at the Arizona 6th district, some people are saying it could theoretically be competitive because it's suburban. Phoenix, that could trend towards the Democrats. And Kirkpatrick, Tom O'Halloran, they're both likely to win by a likely margin. And David Streichart in Arizona will probably win by a lean margin, so I'll leave those. Arkansas, you have the 2nd district. We saw some internal polling data saying that could be a little bit competitive, but I don't necessarily trust that. I think, I'll leave it at lean to likely for now. Then California, you have a couple interesting seats. You have the competitive ones here. I think Tom McClintock, his will be likely. Josh Harder, his will also be likely. If we look at California's 10th congressional district, that's over here, it could be likely to around safe, to be honest. TJ Cox, we actually had an internal poll showing him losing from the other side, but they were winning by a lot. So I do think right now he'll win by around a tilt margin, but he actually is not too popular in this district, so he may lose. Mike Garcia, I do expect to win by tilt margin. The polling data has not been good for Christy Smith. The fundraising has not been good for her, and I do think that she is going to lose to Mike Garcia, but it will be close because it is still suburban LA. You also have California's 39th and California's 48th, which are down here. I don't think those are going to be too competitive. I think California's 48th, if we scroll down to California's 48th right here, I do think that's actually going to be likely because it is in Orange County, which is the suburban LA area, which is trending a lot towards the Democrats. So I do expect that to go to the Democrats quite easily. Colorado, probably not too many competitive seats, but you do have the 3rd district, which I would probably put at likely for now. You have Lauren Boebert here, who is probably being outraised once we get the new numbers. To be honest, she's not the best candidate. She's one of those QAnon people, and I don't think that she is going to win it by a safe margin. I think she'll probably win by a likely margin, but not much else interesting in Colorado there. Connecticut, obviously, you also are going to have all safe seats. Same thing in Delaware, just the one district that's safe blue. Florida, not too many interesting districts. I think the 15th district will now be moved into likely because Ross Spano was defeated in income and he had some scandal or something like that. I also believe that Demi McCarcel-Powell will win by a lean margin. She isn't the best candidate. The polling data is not too good. The fundraising not too good. But Hillary Clinton did win the district by a lot, and I expect Joe Biden to win it by a lot as well, which should be able to carry her across the line. Georgia, we have 2 interesting districts here. We have the 6th and the 7th districts. We also have the 14th district, which is where you have Marjorie Taylor Greene running, but that's not competitive, so we don't need to worry about that for now. Georgia's 6th, I do expect to be lean. Georgia's 7th, I do expect to be tilt to lean. Rob Woodall is retiring now, and you have, Republican Democratic candidate. The Democratic candidate is probably better. Carolyn Bordeaux versus Rich McCormick. The trends do help the Democrats in Georgia's 7th district due to the fact, actually, let's go back to Georgia. The trends do help Democrats in Georgia's 7th district because it is suburban Atlanta, and the Trump district could go to Trump by 6 percentage points, but Democrats almost won in the midterms. And with the fundraising advantage, the polls advantage, I do expect Carolyn Bordeaux to be able to win this district. Hawaii, we have nothing. Idaho, we have nothing. Illinois, we may have a little bit. If we look at Illinois, there's some theoretically competitive districts. I would put the the 17th. Actually, I would put the 6th district as safe, to be honest. I don't think it's competitive. It is suburban Chicago. Lauren Underwood, I also think she's good at likely. Illinois 13th, I may put at lean to likely, to be honest. It's not really a suburban trending area towards the Democrats. It has a lot of rural areas. And Sherry Bustos, I do expect to win by a likely margin, maybe even a safe margin as well. I may move that to safe in the future. Indiana, theoretically, the 5th congressional district could be competitive. It's rated as a toss-up. Right now, I'm going to put it at lean Republican because there have been some Democratic internal polls that have showed Democrats doing quite well, actually winning the district. And sure, it's suburban, like the Indianapolis area, but I do expect the Republicans to still win it. Iowa, we actually have 3 interesting seats. They are all rated as toss-up. I do think they are all lean Democrat. Democrats do have fundraising advantages. They do have polling advantages. They do have, the nature of these districts. All these districts went to Obama quite easily. The first went by around 13, second and third went by around 13 as well. And so Joe Biden, I believe at least, will probably win all 3 of these districts, which is going to help carry the Democratic House candidates over the line. Kansas, I'm probably going to put the 2nd district at safe, to be honest. I don't really think it's going to be too difficult for Steve Watkins, or he's not running anymore, but for the Republican candidate to win. Sharice Davis, I think she will win by a likely margin. I think that makes sense. She's in, the pretty much the only area of the state that is trending blue. Kentucky, not really much interesting here. Kentucky 6 will probably be by likely margin. That's the seat Amy McGrath ran in. Louisiana, nothing competitive. Maine, we have the 2nd district here, which I'm now going to put at a lean margin. Actually, it's already put at a lean margin. We had some very good polls for Jared Golden. He's a very good candidate. He's done well in the fundraising. He also voted against the impeachment, which could have helped him, although not that many people care anymore. But I do expect him to win by a lean margin. Michigan, we'll see what they rate it as. I would probably agree with this to the most part. Maybe I'd put Michigan's 8th as a lean margin. The Republican candidate isn't good, but they're not that bad. I don't think Trump will win the district by 7 percentage points, but I do expect him to still narrowly win it, maybe. And so I do think that Alyssa Slotkin, because of that, will win by around a lean margin. Michigan's 3rd, I do think is going to be safe Republican. Republicans are not going to have any trouble winning that district there, which will give us the delegation as a tie in case of a tie at the Electoral College level. Minnesota, this is probably going to be one of the few flips the Republicans get in Minnesota's 7th congressional district with Colin Peterson. He's, not doing too well in fundraising. It's a plus 31 Republican district. Colin Peterson, sure, he didn't vote for impeachment, but he's still a Democrat, and in these polarizing times, it's not going to be good for him. Jim Hagedorn, I think, wins by a likely to safe margin. It's, a more rural area with legacy Democrats. That'll trend towards the Democrats. Mississippi, or trend towards the Republicans, I should say. Mississippi, nothing competitive. Missouri, you could say Missouri's 2nd congressional district is competitive. Sure, I could put it at a lean margin, but that probably won't be too interesting. Montana, this could theoretically be competitive as well. I do say theoretically because based on the data we've seen, it would be competitive. I probably agree with around lean margin, to be honest, because the polls have had the Democratic candidate up right now, and the fundraising is good for them too. And Montana has elected Democrats in the past. Nebraska, you have the 2nd congressional district. I do think this is lean Republican for now. Don Bacon's a pretty good candidate. He's doing well in fundraising against Kara Eastman, who is a Bernie bro. She was the candidate that lost here in 2018, and she's not a very good candidate overall, so I do expect her to lose to Don Bacon again. Nevada, not too competitive either. You have Susie Lee in the 3rd district, which is kind of competitive. Trump won it by 1 percentage point, but also Obama won it. And I do think that Susie Lee and Stephen Horsford are going to be able to win by likely margins. New Hampshire, this isn't really competitive either. The 2nd and 1st. I don't know why the 1st. I don't know why the 2nd is put it likely. I think that's probably safe, and Kuster should be able to win quite easily. Chris Pappas could easily win by a safe margin too, but right now I will leave it at likely. New Jersey, this is kind of what's called a dummy mander. Republicans made this gerrymander, and now they're losing a lot of the seats. They lost the 2nd in 2018. They lost the 3rd. I believe they also used to have the 7th and the 5th that they have now lost. But I do believe the Democrats will retain the 3rd. They will narrowly lose the 2nd to Jeff Van Drew by a lean margin with Amy Kennedy there. And then all of these, I think New Jersey's 7th is also probably likely Democrat instead of lean. So that puts the Democrats in a good position there. Democrats, you can see here, are already at 229. But, I'll change some of the ratings too. That may not be the exact number. New Mexico, you have the 2nd congressional district here, which is rated as a toss-up, but I am going to put it tilt Democrat. You have a rematch of the 2018 matchup, but the Democratic candidate, Tora Small, has a lot of fundraising, and she is a good candidate in the district that will not go to Trump by 10 percentage points again, so she will win narrowly. New York, I do believe that the Republicans can flip the 22nd congressional district. There is a lot of competitive seats here. John Katko, I probably think, wins by around a lean to likely margin, and he is a good candidate. He's running against Dana Balter, who's not a good candidate, doesn't have much fundraising, and sure, the district went to Hillary, but it could very well go to Trump this time. Max Rose, I do think, narrowly wins. I also think Peter King, not Peter King, he's retiring, but the Democratic candidate Jackie Gordon wins this district in New York 7th. Sure, it went to Trump by 9 percentage points, but this district is changing. The Democratic candidate has a lot of fundraising. It is an open seat. It is New York. And so this is, it's probably one of the most surprising flips, but I do think it will narrowly flip to the Democrats there. So a net zero change. Democrats gain the 2nd, lose the 22nd in the state of New York. So now the next state here, North Carolina, Democrats do have 2 flips here. Two free flips effectively. The 2nd and the 6th, they're both going to be safe. Not likely they'll both be safe. Other than that, nothing really competitive at all in the state of North Carolina. North Dakota, obviously one district, not competitive. Ohio, you could say the 1st district is competitive, but I don't know why it's really rated as a toss-up. I'd put it at a lean to even a likely margin for Steve Chabot. I don't think he's going to have much trouble winning there. Oklahoma, this is where you have the 5th congressional district where Kendra Horn is. I do think she is going to narrowly lose, but the Republican candidate against her is not that great in fundraising, and we'll see how this plays out. This district will not go to Trump by 13 percentage points again, probably will only go by around 7 to 8 percentage points, which could help Kendra Horn, but I do think she still narrowly loses due to the fundamentals of this district. Oregon, nothing really competitive here either. You could say the 4th is competitive. Republicans doing all right in fundraising, but it still shouldn't flip. Pennsylvania, 17th, that's where you've got Connor Lamb, who's a great candidate. He should be able to win. The 1st district, I do think, is going to be around a likely. Brian Fitzpatrick is a good candidate, and the candidate he's running against has virtually no fundraising, is not a good candidate overall. Scott Perry, he should be able to win by a lean margin as well, maybe even a likely margin. It shouldn't be too difficult for him. And so, net zero change in Pennsylvania as well. Rhode Island, nothing competitive. South Carolina, this, I do believe, at least for now, will be a flip for the Republicans, flipping the 1st congressional district. This is actually trending blue, this district. It is trending blue, but it did go to Trump by 13 percentage points. And while Joe Cunningham's a good candidate, he's a good fundraiser, the Republican candidate Nancy Mace is also quite good, so I think she's going to be able to win. South Dakota, nothing competitive, neither in Tennessee. Texas, we've got a lot of districts in Texas that are competitive. This is another example of what you would call a dummy mander, and that is due to the fact that because Texas has changed so much, it's caused a lot of seats that used to be safe Republican are now in play for the Democrats. One of those seats is not Texas 2nd, that's where Dan Crenshaw is, not Texas 7th, it is Chip Roy. Chip Roy is doing bad in fundraising, he's doing bad in the polls, he's doing bad in the trends of this district. Sure, Trump won it by 10, but I believe Romney won it by around 20-something. Chip Roy only won by 2.8 percentage points, and he is a freshman Democrat. He's not good at fundraising, and again, as I said before, he's not leading in the polls, and I do expect him to narrowly lose. Pete Olson, I also think, is going to, or he's retiring, but the open district is going to go to Sri Kulkarni in this district. He ran in 2018. He's a good fundraiser. The district went to, Romney by like 24 percentage points. And I do believe that this district, which is in the Houston area, just over here, will go to the Democrats, to Sri Kulkarni narrowly. Will Hurd, that district, the 23rd district, I do believe Tony Gonzalez is going to lose this district and is going to go to the Democrats. Texas is 24th, though. Democrats ran a candidate that's not too good at fundraising, not too, she's a Bernie bro, which isn't really good for this area. It is the Dallas suburb, so I do think that is going to go Republican. Colin Allred, I don't think he'll have much trouble either. I think he'll be able to win quite easily. So Democrats do gain actually 3 seats in Texas there, which would be a good thing for them. Utah, I do believe in the state of Utah that the Republicans are actually going to win this district. Burgess Owens, I did think was going to lose until he spoke at the convention. Probably got a lot of fundraising for that, which is what he was lacking earlier. Trump probably would have won this district by more than 7 percentage points if, Evan McMullin wasn't there. Ben McAdams' seat was kind of a fluke, and I do think he is going to lose this time. Vermont, nothing, just 1 district. Virginia, you could say the 7th district is going to be competitive. I think Democrats with Abigail Spanberger will narrowly win. This district is trending blue, and she is a blue dog Democrat. She, won quite easily. She has a lot of fundraising, and I do think she's going to be able to win again. Denver Riggleman, he was defeated in the primary election. I do think that'll be lean, but Republicans shouldn't have too much trouble winning in that district. Nothing else really. We've got Wisconsin, nothing here. This is gerrymandered state, so not too much to worry about there. I think Ron Kine will probably win by a safe margin, to be honest. Some of these likely to safe margins may be a little bit different to what I actually think they will be, but the gist of it is the same, that Democrats do have 235 seats. Republicans do have 200. I believe this is up from 234 to 201. I flipped Texas's 21st congressional district from being in Chip Roy's hands to being in the Democrats' hands, and this is what the overall map looks like. 235 Democrats, 200 Republicans. This would be a net zero change from the 2018 elections, a net couple gains from what Democrats do have right now, which I believe is around 232 with open seats, losses, things like that. But this would be good for Democrats overall, and I do believe they'd have 99% chance of keeping the House. I don't really see a path for the Republican Party. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website, which I have every day. That is also linked down in the description. So again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.